count up. It's been 78 days since President Buhari was sworn in, and Nigeria still has no ministers. It's been 2 weeks since the Senate confirmed all President Buhari's ministerial nominees, and they still do not have portfolios. The presidency has said they'll be giving their portfolios on the 21st. If he sticks to that deadline, it means Nigeria will go 84 days in the second term without ministers. So welcome to Hard Facts, where everybody already has their portfolio. Aghogho and I give you the best insights into today's most important topics. We bring them to you, we break them down, we give you the facts. You can form an informed opinion afterwards. Now, if you missed any of last week's shows, catch them online: Facebook, Twitter, Nigeria Info FM, YouTube as well, Nigeria Info FM. And as always, we have a great show planned. We're starting with the big three. And on the big three, police arrest a woman for assaulting a 10-year-old and locking him in a cage with dogs. We've got that video. And if you are watching us online right now, we are going to play it as soon as we start telling you about that story. NYSC says 4.6 million Nigerians have served since the corps was created. Fantastic, isn't it? And on a lighter note, in Tanzania, a regional government is launching a website that lists every married man to protect women from fake promises of marriage. We'll have that conversation as well. I wonder what will happen if they launch that here in Lagos. Now, today is Thursday, so I'll be bringing you Eyewitness. And on Eyewitness today, it's a very special episode because I am the eyewitness. I'm bringing you a veterinary doctor who runs an animal shelter, and he's going to be talking to us about animal care at 4 o'clock. This man rescues animals, both domestic and wild, and he gives them shelter after he nurses them all with his own resources. It's pretty amazing, I'm telling you. And on the Big Hard Fact, we're continuing our look at the various ministries and their domains ahead of the president's announcing portfolios for his ministerial nominees. Now, today we're looking at the economy. I'll be talking about all the MDAs that have a say over the economy. So you have finance, you have trade and investment, all of them. And I'll have a very high-powered panel for that one. Don't miss it. It happens at 5. As usual, throughout the show, we're bringing you the latest updates from the worlds of news, sports, and entertainment. And we'll start it all off right now with the big three.
This is the Big Three.
The Big Three.
On Hard Facts. On 99.3 Nigeria Info.
There's been an arrest in the case of the viral video of a woman putting a child in a dog kennel. Now, you know what to expect on the Big Three, stories that everybody is talking about right now. Our first story: why is child abuse so rampant in Nigeria? And has the NYSC made an impact on your life and on Nigeria? And what do you think about Tanzania's public marriage registry? Now, back to that story about this young woman who's been arrested. Police from command headquarters in Ikeja yesterday arrested 24-year-old Onyinye Mbadike for assault and child abuse. A statement by the police PRO for Lagos, DSP Bala Elkanah, alleges that Mbadike is the woman seen in a viral video beating up a young boy and locking him up in a kennel. According to the statement, Mbadike has allegedly confessed to the crime, claiming that she assaulted the boy, who is her cousin, because he drank alcohol and vandalized her car. Now, there's so much to unpack in this story. There's so much. But before we do, I want to play the footage for you. If you're watching us on Facebook, you're going to be able to see the video if you haven't seen it before. If you're listening on your radio, you'll be able to hear what happened. But please be advised that the video is graphic and some listeners may find the audio disturbing. So go on our Facebook, Nigeria Info FM if you can, Nigeria Info FM, and watch the video whose audio you're hearing right now.
You think I'm talking to you? You think you have power? You think you have power? You have power. I'm serious. Let me get it. Let me get it. Enter inside here. Enter inside here. Enter inside here. Enter inside here. Let me hear one noise. Let me hear
My goodness. No matter how many times I watch that video, it still horrifies me. The way the woman in the video was beating that child, it was almost as if she had forgotten that he was a child. She was beating him like an inanimate object, not a human being with a soul. Now, you can check out our Facebook, and I hope that you saw when we played it for you. Remember that we are a visual radio, so you can actually see your radio, so you can actually see the news stories that we talk about every day on Hard Facts, on Nigeria Info. And by the way, according to the police, this child that she was beating is an orphan. He's the cousin of the suspect. When his parents died, he was brought to stay with his aunt, the mother of the suspect, who is a sister of his late father. So this is his family now, the only family he has left in the world. But the question I found myself asking was, does that woman in the video see that boy as family? If she did, would she be beating him in that way? Would she have locked him up in a cage, in a kennel, with dogs? And you hear stories like this all the time. You hear about maltreatment of relatives from the village who are brought to stay with extended family because of poverty or because they are orphaned. It happens so often in our society that even our movies show it all the time. We preach against it in our places of worship, but it's still happening. Why? And then you hear about her purported excuse that the child was drunk. How did the child get access to alcohol in the house? Why was alcohol kept in a place a child could easily reach it? That's also child abuse, Shebi, you know. So here's what I want to ask you about this story. Why do you think child abuse is so common in Nigeria? Let me bring it home. Why do we not pity children? Why do we allow ourselves to get angry at a child? That we can beat him or her with a wire. That we can punch the child. That we can kick the child. Basically, we start to beat children as if we're fighting adults. Why? And why do so many people have a hard time treating somebody else's child the same way they will treat their own child? Why are so many stepchildren, nephews, nieces, children from the village turned into slaves and also subjected to physical abuse and torture? Because that's what some of these things are. Shebi, you know. Torture. 01277 0993, 01277 1993, 01277 2993, and 01277 3993. 01277 1993, 01277 2993, 01277 3993, as well as 01277 1993. Hello to you. Welcome to the show.
Hello.
Yes, welcome.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Thank you, Sandra. You're doing a good job.
Thank you.
Okay. I think the problem for this character is the wickedness. Because some people, they cannot beat the children like that. I mean, some women, they cannot even beat the children. Some men. But most of them, they're made. See how most of them can pour hot water on their body. Or even use there as a blade. So all these things are just kind of wickedness. And they cannot do, most of them cannot do this thing to their own children. So I think that people should kind of have the heart of God, the way of treating children without your own or another person's child. Thank you.
Thank you for calling and sharing your thoughts. While we take a quick break on the show, you can actually get on our Facebook and watch that video. Even right now, while I'm taking your calls, the video is currently playing. I'm currently watching it, and you can see it in case you haven't seen it on your on your own social media platform. Again, I have to warn that the video is quite graphic, and what you heard on the show, what you see on our Facebook may be too much for you to handle, and in that case I do apologize. Hello, thanks for calling us.
Thank you. Good evening.
Yes, good evening. What's your name?
Winsome calling from Way.
Hi, Winsome.
Thank you. Thank you for the great work you are doing.
Thank you, Winsome.
I've had some kind of experiences that actually they are heartbreaking. And I think apart from the government doing something about it, neighbors also should be committed. When you see people committing violence against children, don't just look away from it. There was an instance that a neighbor was beating the boy living with him, openly naked the boy, brought out hot pepper, poured in the private part of the boy, and kept the boy in the sun. Everybody saw that sight. It was horrible. Then of recent again, a pastor somewhere around my neighborhood was beating a little child living with them. I tried to intervene. The wife and the pastor, they rose up against me. That what is my business? I said, I can't watch you kill this child. So I think apart from the government, neighbors too should get involved, no matter how they may relate with you, so that we will save these children from all this maltreatment and even some of them killing some children in the process of that. So I think that's what we should begin to do.
All right, Winsome. Thanks for calling. I appreciate your contribution. Tony is the last call we'll take and then move on to our second story after the break. Tony, hi. Welcome.
Yes, I'm fine. I can hear you.
Okay. You're in Qatar?
So, yes, I'm in Qatar. I'm calling from Qatar. I've been listening to your program, and it's a very nice program.
Thank you.
Yeah. So my contribution to that is that I think that lady is out of wickedness, and she will not do that to her own children. And what I think should be done to people of that nature, there should be a law that will punish such people, because I think we need show example to people, because we see how much lady like that in our society doing that same thing secretly unknown to people. So if we have a law that will punish them, I think it will be a lesson to others. You know, we have to treat children kind, so as to give a good, example to them, for them to be able to have good nurture. So for me, it's out of wickedness.
All right.
Really.
Well, Tony, thank you so much for calling. Wickedness, he says, seems such an easy answer, doesn't it? Our second story is not as bad as the first one, and the third one is funny. So let's take a look at these stories immediately after the break. I'm Sandra Ezekwesili. Get on Facebook if you haven't watched the video. It's going to be playing while we take this break.
Stay right here on the Big Three on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
Let me get one more. You think I'm talking with you? You think you're
99.3 Nigeria Info.
I am Sandra Ezekwesili. Our first question on the big three today: why is child abuse so rampant in Nigeria? And our second question: has the NYSC made an impact on your life and on Nigeria? That's because there's been 4.6 million youth corpers in Nigeria's history. These are the statistics just announced by the Director General of the NYSC, Brigadier General Shuaibu Ibrahim. General Ibrahim also said that NYSC had given 1.1 million of those corpers skills acquisition and entrepreneurship development packages. Ibrahim said that since its inception in 1973, the NYSC has achieved national unity and integration. He said the scheme's objective are to inculcate discipline in Nigerian youths by, quote, instilling in them a tradition of industry at work, patriotism and loyal service, end of quote. So I'd like to ask, if you have served, how many of you have served? If you served recently, did you receive the skills acquisition package? What did it entail? Have you found it useful since you passed out? What skills did you learn in your service year that are still useful for you today? Were you taught those skills by NYSC or by your place of primary posting or by your fellow corps members? Do you think NYSC is still relevant? Should it be expanded to capture every youth, not only graduates, or should it be made voluntary, or should it be scrapped? I know we come back to this conversation at least once every month. Do you think the government is capable of handling corper welfare? What do you think about the conditions in which corpers have to live and work? Because you've seen the figures, 4.6 million corps members since 1973. 4.6 million corps members in 46 years. That's 100,000 corpers a year on average. That means that in any given year, only one Nigerian out of 2,000 is in NYSC. That's 0.2% of the population. In fact, if you count all the 4.6 million Nigerians who have attended NYSC, that's only 2.3% of Nigerians alive today. And that's not counting all the Nigerians that died between 1973 and today. So it seems like only a very small fraction of Nigerians take part of the NYSC program. And again, it's because it's only open to graduates. So all these great things that the DG is saying, it's a small fraction of our young people. So again, how useful is the NYSC? This skills acquisition package they talk about, did you receive it? What did it entail? Have you used it since you passed out? We've got Baba Anthony in Badagry. Hello, Baba Tony. Welcome.
Hello, thank you, ma'am. I'm Sandra. How are you?
I'm very well. Good evening.
So I want to contribute towards the issue.
Okay.
The one which you have said before, in a set of children. It is women who are our women who have traveled outside are the ones spoiling our children.
Okay.
All the things they have been seeing overseas, they come to introduce it here.
Okay.
Don't do this child. Don't touch this child. The Bible even commands beating children when they go wrong. But some of them are also wild that they don't want to limit the punishment they will give children. The children that they are not touching are those in courts today. In our area, most of the children arrested are the children of the children. Are you with me?
Yes. Most of the children arrested are the children of big women.
In our area,
okay.
The children of big men and big women, and one man larger and one man, but that is the pastor. They are the one they are arresting in this area.
And you think it's because they're not being beaten and put in cages, in dog cages?
Putting in cages is to extreme.
Okay.
They have gone to an extreme.
Is punching extreme? Is flogging with a wire extreme?
What type of wire?
Okay, so there's a type of wire that is okay to flog a child with.
If you don't have anything that you have been using to your hand and you are fed up, you can, when you use wire, provided it doesn't hit the eye or touch a space of the body.
And And you
She
don't
will
think
be
that
thanking-
you don't think, Baba Tony, you don't think that is child abuse?
You see, that was it's not I said that you people are bringing in things which are not good. And they
see.
grow and become a cultist or become kidnappers. Yeah, the children we are producing nowadays now, madam.
All right, Baba Tony,
They
let me
got-
see if somebody disagrees with
Don't
you.
look after your children for you.
Yes, I don't have a lot of time, unfortunately. Let me see if somebody else agrees with you. Hello, Emeka. Welcome to the show.
Hello, good evening.
Yes, good evening. Welcome.
Yeah, I want to talk about NYS.
Okay, go ahead. Yes, go ahead.
NYS has been a very big impact
Okay.
to Nigerian society. If not for NYS, I would have visited Borno State and some part of northern Nigeria that I visited as a core member.
Okay.
I'm a private man today because of the survival instinct I learned while I was a copper. The first thing that touches me was that the day we passed out from the camp, I came back to the same camp at night to have a night sleep and found there was no phone. I had to lay on an ordinary iron bed without any foam, without any pillowcase, without any bed sheet. That was when I realized I'm here on my own, that I have to make good of whatever thing I will do.
So
Thanks
NYSC helped you grow up, Emeka. Thank you for calling and sharing your thoughts. Ufoma says that woman needs to face the law. Well, she's been arrested. So we're going to see how that particular story plays out. We have Raleigh Academy joining the show at 3:45. So let's quickly move on to our final story. Our final big three comes from Tanzania, where a regional government wants to make it impossible for married men to lie to women that they are single. I told you it was a funny story. Yep. The government of Dar es Salaam is planning to launch a website that will list every married man in the region. This will allow members of the public to find out whether a particular man is married or not. The regional commissioner, Paul Mackinder, said this was being done because numerous women had been deceived by already married men who promised them marriage and later jilted them. If they bring this service to Lagos, hey! This table that Tanzania is shaking, my God. But let me ask, is this government's business at all? Should government be getting involved in whether Aghogho deceived me that he's not married? Is that part of government's responsibilities? Many people would say no. They would say this is a personal matter. But what do you say? Does government have a role to play here? Should government be helping women find out whether their boyfriends are married or not? Is heartbreak fraud? And I also want to ask you, what do you think would happen if they brought this register to Lagos or to Nigeria? Would you be in support or would you be afraid? Are you one of the married men who lies to young women and says to them, I'm not married or I'm just a little married? I've heard that one before. A married man said that once to me before. I'm just a little married. I don't know what that means. I'm a little married. I'm wondering if all my regular callers, Darlington, Ezedum, Peter, Shodi, I wonder what they'll have to say about this particular matter. It's a very interesting service. There's already been a bit of uproar about it in Tanzania. Some people are saying it's a serious violation of privacy, but others are saying marriage is not a secret. Marriages and divorces are a matter of public record, just like births and deaths. So is it wrong for marital status to be announced on a government website? After all, when people are getting married, they make public announcements, they invite people. In fact, critics of the plan are being accused of wanting to deceive women about their marital status. And there's been quite a lot of vocal and hilarious conversation about this on East African Twitter. So many jokes about which country is next. But the best joke I saw was a man that said, my girlfriend wants to go to the married men website to check if my name is there. Poor girl. She thinks that she has my real name. And when I saw that, after laughing for a minute or two, it got me thinking, how does this system account for fake names? If a man can hide his wife and children, can he not hide his name? And then what about common names? How does someone check the register, know that, I don't know, Emeka Akintoye, for instance, is the same Emeka Akintoye that she knows, you know? These are all the questions. But hey, get on Facebook and share your thoughts on this particular matter with me. Do you think this is a service that should be brought to Nigeria? Is this government's business? Is heartbreak a fraudulent thing? Should government be getting involved in whether a man lies about his marital status? Let's welcome the guys from Raleigh Academy. I'm Sandra Ezekwesili. On the other side of 4 o'clock, we're going to have a conversation with Dr. Mark Ofua. Dr. Mark Ofua will be talking to us about why he rescues and shelters domestic and wild animals with his own money here in Lagos.
This is a paid announcement.